Welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky. The show will begin momentarily.
Hello, welcome to Super Happy Dragon Lucky, the Dragonchain Update Show. This is episode City A, that is 0xca, it is Hex, and it is the 203rd episode. Reminder, nothing on the show is financial advice, and stay tuned after these updates for a small AMA, the weekly AMA that we have. This week for the updates at Dragonchain, we have the Super Happy Dragon Lucky. This show's distribution for last week. You can control the show if you want to introduce or remove a segment or change the format or cancel the show. You have power to do that. So last week's episode created 408 lot. There were 2 questions for 68 lot each, and there was 1 featured post for 68 lot. The host received 68 lot, and Dragonchain received 136 layer ownership tokens for the show. Next, we'll go to Den.Social updates. So the first is that the June 2023 LCP results, the layer creation process results are in. I didn't even get to see the end of it, unfortunately, but I'm usually there to try to see what's going on and change my commitments in various places. But anyway, this month, the number 1 layer proposal by unique voter was All Wrestling Entertainment with 34 unique voters and 1.4 million lore committed. And the number one proposal by lore committed was the philosophy layer proposal with 2 million lore committed and 15 unique voters. All Wrestling was proposed by Dude, the Denizen Dude, in May of 2021. And the philosophy layer proposal was created by I Am in March of this year, not that long ago. As a reminder, denizens can purchase a runner-up layer. So if you look through the posts in the LCP by unique voter, the first runner-up, if you wanted to create it, would cost 200 matter, the second 400, the third 600. The fourth 800, and the fifth 1,000. Also, if any layer proposal has 8 or more unique voters, you can also purchase that layer for 2,500 matter if you have lore committed to it. So anyway, go check that out. Those will be created in the next week or turned on, or whatever you would say, and they should show up, and you will be auto-subscribed based upon a recent DenDAO vote. So hopefully we'll see some. I guess one thing to watch for is when they are created, whenever that happens, to watch for the governance votes on within each of those communities. If you have lot to essentially brand it, put up graphics, set up descriptions, and other things like that. So that's all good. Also this week, related to Den is the Coffee with Den show. Join Dave tomorrow at 0900 Eastern and 1300 UTC for Coffee with Den. The topic this week is aliens. So we should probably all watch that. It might be important. Next, there is also a DenDAO update call on Thursday, June 22 at 1500 Eastern and 1900 UTC. Watch for the post in the DenDAO layer for that agenda and the link to join live. Everyone's welcome to join. It's a meeting, not a show. So you can come on either through chat, YouTube chat, wherever would show up live to us. And you don't need to have your camera on or otherwise. And there will be a link if you want to just call in and ask questions or give some ideas. Okay, so that's all Den.Social. Now we go to World Blockchain Roundtable updates. So the July themes vote is up in the World Blockchain Roundtable, the WBRT layer. You need to vote by Monday. Essentially, it's a bunch of proposals by you, the denizens, you, the users, you, the watchers of WBRT, and you get to pick what themes will be going on in July. Make sure you watch and share last week's episode. It was on the topic of blockchain in healthcare. The more views it gets the first week, the more lot all the participants will get. Also, make sure you share it. Give it to anybody that might be in that industry and might have some interest. And this week, episode 109 will be Thursday, June 22 at 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC. And the topic is for the hosts, I think is the way I read, our or their decrees as blockchain king or queen. If everything were perfect, how would you do whatever the thing is in the provided question? So make sure you get in there and leave a blockchain related question or subject to discuss. What if there were an ideal world? What would you think about this? And we'll cover them. It'd be fun. Next, we will go straight to the AMA, right? Okay, so let's see here. AMA every week. I think we have 3 questions, unless there are new ones in there. I did look, and I did vote on all of them. I voted them all up. They're all great questions this week. So the first question is Alexans. Do you have in mind possible partnerships to boost or increase the number of users in Den? Definite possible. I mean, generally, I think the target would be anyone that is a middle-sized following channel, either podcast or thinker, or and it's a little hard because it gets a little nebulous because there are all the different communities. So would you bring in someone inside of a community, or would you bring someone in on their own with their community? And I think that's a good way to drive it. We did have some ideas for partnerships that didn't pan out early on. I think and it wasn't because there was anything negative. It was just not the right timing for the partner that what they were launching. I don't know if it didn't get funding or what, but it didn't pan out one way or another. So, and that was intended to bring multiple people in, but we'll see how that goes. And we are obviously open to ideas. I mean, the intent of Den is primarily to set the stage for you, the denizens, to do that sort of thing, to figure out how to benefit yourself and the community and that partner by bringing them in and showing them how things can be done to better manage your community. And it might very well entail adding capabilities, like say adding capabilities that would compete with how communities typically let their users contribute, in terms of payments, right? So we've had some of that recently, some talk, and we have some people that are starting to explore that. So, let us know if you have ideas in mind. It's all good. Next, IM4AM, DIN question. Is it possible that a DAO fund or an investment group that resided in a crypto-friendly nation, non-US, I think that goes without saying, could purchase the controlling interest in DenDAO. This would be an as-is purchase controlling DAO interest. It would include historical data and posting. So you have the data and I assume the infrastructure, right? Everyone's logins, lot ownership, matter in Den, etc. would remain the same. Nothing would change for the denizens. The only thing that would change is the controlling interest in the DAO, and the host location would move to another country. It obviously requires a Dragonchain contract for support, maintenance, etc., which would be negotiated and agreed to. Could something like this actually happen? Absolutely. I can't speak for all the other founders, right? But there would be something there. I mean, I know if it were the right move, especially to help us get Den.Social to be completely independent, I would be for it. And wherein, and again, this is some of the beauty of it, that what you talk about, for Denizen, everything should remain the same, except that maybe there would be more budget, there would be more funding to move it forward and to add newer capabilities faster. That they would notice, of course. But the beauty is the way DenDAO is set up, they have their own portions of those votes, and it's all based upon behavior instead of that they're a whale. So though someone could come in and buy out or end up having a controlling share of the founder vote, it still wouldn't kill off the other votes. And the beauty is all of those utility value, what you can do with this system would increase, right? So it definitely could happen. I don't know, and hopefully you would. I don't know of any groups that are far enough along in thinking to understand what we're doing with Den. I'm frankly kind of surprised that we don't get more attention than we do in the industry itself, given that what we're doing is sound, scalable, honorable, and it freaking well works, right? You would think that would be something that we would get a lot of in the press about, and you would think that we'd get a lot of interest for people wanting to come in and help us. But so far, we're pretty much out here solo. Well, and I'll say us. I mean, I say all of us together, but we're not getting a lot of help from outside, which would be remarkable. And I have a lot of theories for that. Same with Dragonchain, that we're not controlled. No VC has a piece of our any of the work we've done. Meaning we don't have somebody pushing on the outside, greasing the skids and things like that with regulators or with VCs, because it wouldn't benefit them, which I think is a remarkable oversight or lost opportunity on their part. I mean, they could come in and invest in the entities that support these projects, and something like that. If it were DAO, would make a good sense. If it were an honorable investor, certainly. So anyway, great question. Definitely, I think a bunch of yeses. So, okay, next is Dayrox. Joe, can you compare Dragonchain and XRP Ledger? Are these entirely different approaches, or do you have something in common? Can you say fairly objectively whether Dragonchain can be a competitor to the XRP Ledger technology? So on this one, generally, and I'm no XRP expert, but generally, I would say we aren't competitors. I would say the difference mostly is that XRP is set up as a cross nation, international, whatever, peer-to-peer payments infrastructure network, right? Where banks and people can settle or send payments peer-to-peer in a scalable way without a significant cost fee associated, and in a way that they can work into all of the whatever the regulations might be. So given that I mean, if you ask me personally, and don't be offended, I would probably say that XRP is a does what Bitcoin was supposed to be doing better than it currently is, right? I would have to say that's probably the truth. You could look at whether something is decentralized or not, but you can't actually measure it with any of them, Bitcoin or otherwise. That Bitcoin, we know there's a lot of centralized mining, and we don't know where all of it is. So there are risks there, obviously, and you could say the same thing probably for XRP. But I don't know enough about XRP and how it is the consensus is handled. So, but either way. It doesn't have the internal politics or a lot of the things that Bitcoin's had that have crippled it in various ways. So anyway, and that is nothing near what Dragonchain is. Dragonchain, although someone could feasibly take Dragonchain and do something that could compete with Ripple, that's what Dragonchain is intended, that you can create your own chain and essentially leverage the scalability and the tech that we've put in place, and the security that our integrations provide. And that integrations are with Bitcoin and Ethereum and various other, Binance, various other foreign external independent blockchain networks. So essentially, although someone could do that, it's I don't. How do I say this? I don't see that as, like, say, the main vision of what Dragonchain is. Mainly, what Dragonchain is a way to do what you need at your business or startup or personally in order to secure various events, transactions, things that happen, and largely, and maybe to the detriment of some of what I guess our ability to gather attention. Largely, we have not focused on the financial. I would say almost exclusively we have gone and looked at reg tech and at compliance tech and at history itself, storing reality, archival of things that are happening, as well as behavior, right? How do you affect the behavior of your customers, your employees, and your vendors, right? How do you affect behavior of something, someone that your system is interacting with? Those are the massive advancements that we've made, and you could apply those to XRP. You could definitely apply those to several, the compliance tech. You could definitely apply a lot of that to what XRP does. Frankly, it would probably be a really good complement to many Dragonchain systems. And I think likewise, Dragonchain would likely be a great complement to several of the systems that we know are being built on publicly on XRP. So I don't see it as a competitor. In fact, if anything, I would like to get closer access to their people, because we have very obviously a shared interest in fixing the broken regulatory environment in the U.S. In an honest, clean, clear way that is focused on engineering and reality, and not just what the bankers think, and not just what fear the VCs have with what could happen. It should be focused on, here's honestly what the technology is, and looking at it in a totally agnostic, open way, and then seeing, okay, how can we better, this would be Congress looking at this, if you could believe that, how could we better improve the lives and the safety of our citizenry, right? That's what they should be doing. And yes, if there are things to be prevented, for God's sake, prevent what happened at FTX, what happened at Celsius, what happened at Luna. Would that be easy enough to do? Yes. Guess how it would be easy to do? If you didn't have money flowing back and forth between the regulators and Congress from those very organizations. if the freaking White House wasn't meeting with those very organizations while they were fleecing the U.S. citizens. That might be a way to do it, right? That's not going to happen. So anyway, okay, so that's all those. Let's go now to, let's see here. The, where am I at? Sorry. Let's go to the featured content, which is Viral Marketing by DAO, a great post. So he talks about how do we build upon or use viral marketing in promoting Den. And this is great. And we've tried some of these things. You know, I'm admittedly not the best at it. I'm great with the content. I don't understand myself. You know, we've had people that do the way to make some of these things flow. It's always a hit or miss. And we never pay for this stuff, right? We don't ever, you know, pay people to push stuff everywhere or anything. So it's, you know, we live in a different kind of environment. Anyway, so viral marketing, promotional strategy, where you create and disseminate content that spreads, right? So you want to, you know, voluntarily share brand content, and, you know, memes is a really good way to do this. So social networks, word of mouth, very often something that is either funny or something that really hits someone emotionally. Very often it is visual, you know, it has to be easy to pass. You have to be careful, because if there are links, then some social environments don't let it be posted, or don't let the link work, and various other things. It has to be something that people can pass easily through any means, you know, email, Facebook, Twitter, right? So video is another, right? So anyway, I think that DAO is asking, how do we institute this? And I, you know, I think some of the stuff in Den is suited directly to do that. I mean, that's why the boosting is there, because you can benefit from plugging in source material. I sometimes try, and depends upon how, you know, how it is set, anything profound or anything super interesting, to put it in Den first and then share it out. And sometimes you have to share the image. Sometimes you have to do a screenshot, depending upon where you're sharing it, because maybe a link isn't accepted or something. But still, that's a way to do it, and I'm all for it. And, you know, maybe we should boost this post as well, other than just making it featured content. So anyway, that is everything. That's all the updates. That's the AMA, the featured content. Thanks a bunch for everybody. You all get the credit in lot next week. And in closing, make sure you watch us again next Tuesday, same time, 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC. Make sure you watch the World Blockchain Roundtable this Thursday. It should be a fun one at 1100 Eastern, 1500 UTC. Make sure you get some Dragonchain and Den merch at dragonchain.store. Make sure you follow Dragonchain, Real Denizens, and Jojo Row on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Den.Social. Make sure you contribute, if you have the means, to Dragonchain's legal fund at legalfund@dragonchain.com. It's very important to what's coming. And make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, please. All right, that's it. Thank you. Bye.
Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best.
Adaptable, all capital, label radical yet rational. Adaptable approach is palpable if this animal is fallible. But that conclusion is laughable, so with for all detachable from the mandible. You see it now?